Hello and welcome to this Discover ASEA presentation. We're going to be talking about cells today and cellular communication. So I'd like to play a video for you first before we get started. This video actually shows you what is going on inside our body every second of every day. Have you ever wondered what we're all made of? All life is made of cells. They come in thousands of different shapes and sizes. The human body has over 100 trillion of them, all carrying out the dance of life. They are so tiny that 10,000 would fit on a pinhead. The cells in our body undergo over 500 quadrillion chemical reactions every second. Their amazing biochemistry has nurtured life on Earth for billions of years and protected us from harm. They ask only that we take care of ourselves. Our science has barely begun to understand them. So let's talk about cells. Introducing ASEA, products that were once thought to be impossible. ASEA and Renew 28 are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any medical condition or disease. They simply empower the body to heal naturally. ASEA contains something called redox signaling molecules. Now, most people have not heard of redox molecules, including a lot of doctors, and that is because this product is 10 to 15 years ahead of its time. It's true cutting-edge technology, and it's a new category of science. Less than 1% of the population know about ASEA or redox signaling molecules. Redox molecules affect every single system in our body. Our body has trillions of cells. Of course, we don't know how many, but approximately somewhere between 50 and 100 trillion. Quadrillions of chemical processes take place in our body every second of the day, and approximately 300 billion cells are replaced every day, and 300 million cells die every minute. Redox molecules are absolutely native to our body. Every cell in our body makes them. So how does our body make these redox signaling molecules? The cells and the fluid in between the cells contain differing amounts of sodium chloride or saline solution. A lot of our body weight is actually saline solution. This is the reason a doctor will use saline solution in an IV drip to either rehydrate you or to give you some medication. Our body uses saline solution to produce redox molecules. Our cells are like little bags of salt water, and our cells contain something called a mitochondria. Depending what type of cell it is, there could be thousands of mitochondria in each cell. Our mitochondria are very important. They are responsible for converting our food into energy during something called the Krebs cycle. But they also produce redox signaling molecules. There are two types of these molecules: reductants, which protect the cells by activating antioxidants, and oxidants, which detect, repair, and replace damaged cells using the immune system. There are two main drivers that cause illness: oxidation and inflammation. But these things are also a very important part of our body's healing process. We need oxidation and inflammation going on in our bodies to stay healthy. When they do not switch off when they should, they can become chronic and cause illness. Redox molecules actually control this process. Let's have a look at a healthy cell. A healthy cell contains a healthy mitochondria and a balanced set of oxidants and reductants, which is redox homeostasis. Oxidants are detecting damage, repairing and replacing cells, and the reductants are activating our own body's antioxidants, and we have a healthy antioxidant shield. Having a healthy mitochondria depends on your pH. You need to have a slightly alkaline body to be very healthy. A healthy pH is between 7 and 7.2. If you are acidic, your mitochondria struggle to make enough redox molecules. And here is a list of foods that can help your body stay in an alkaline state. And of course, a lot of people think lemons are acidic, but when you eat them, they are not. They are actually great for helping keep your body alkaline. And here are some foods to limit if you are trying to improve the pH of your body. These foods cause your body to be acidic. And let's have a look at an unhealthy cell. We have a damaged mitochondria, damaged DNA, and damaged antioxidant shield. We have not enough reductants to activate our own antioxidants and far too many oxidants leading to oxidative stress. And you can see here the little red triangles. There is a lot more oxidants than there are reductants, and this is a very unbalanced system. And of course, it's leading to oxidative stress. When cells are acidic, chronically inflamed, and or oxidized, all kinds of health challenges may eventuate. And what happens with an unhealthy cell? It multiplies. So let's have a look at what sort of issues oxidation and inflammation can cause in the body. Failure of our immune system to activate antioxidants is called oxidative stress. And this causes things like hypertension, heart disease, Alzheimer's, macular degeneration, osteoarthritis, stroke, obesity, and type 2 diabetes, and of course many other things. But on the other side of this scale, we have the failure of your immune system to detect, repair, and replace damaged cells. This is called inflammatory stress. And inflammatory stress causes a complete different set of issues, like asthma, allergies, bowel issues, thyroid issues, hormonal imbalances, autoimmune disorders, cancer, and skin issues. And of course, you can have a little bit of both. Great health is a gift, but health issues can also be a gift. Early signs can signal a much bigger issue coming down the track. Some illnesses can take 10 years to develop from the first time that cell doesn't do what it's supposed to do. So what can you do? Take preventative measures. Redox signaling naturally declines with age. We are not meant to live forever, but it would be really nice to go into our old age without all the issues that we are suffering today. Babies are born with healthy mitochondria making many redox molecules, and the reason is they need them. They are growing, they are building bone, they're building tissue. They really need a lot of redox molecules. But by the time we get to our teens, they actually start to decrease. And science tells us that they decrease by 10% per decade. So by the time we're 70, 80, 90, we are not healing very well at all. When we break a bone, it's hard to heal. When we hurt ourselves, it takes a long time to heal. This is because our cells are not making as many redox molecules as they were when we were younger. But what if we're making even less today? Sadly, we are. The stress we are all under today, including electromagnetic stress, the diets that we're eating, the chemicals that are in our food, the chemicals that are in the air and in our environment, and also hidden and stealth infections. All of these things today are causing us to make less redox molecules. So what can we do to combat these issues? Introducing ASEA. Is it? It's a cell signaling beverage. What does it do? tells our cells what to do and regulates genes. Why do we need it? Our cells are breaking down. And these two products also contain active redox signaling molecules for the skin. ASEA is the only place in the world where you can get these exclusive breakthrough products. ASEA supplement for cellular health from the inside out, and Renew 28 and our Renew Advanced Serum, cellular health from the outside in. They are 100% safe, totally non-toxic, and they're not natural, they're actually native to the body because we are replacing something our body already makes. We've looked at how our bodies actually make redox molecules, so let's have a look at how ASEA makes redox molecules. Exactly the same way as we do. They start with pristine salt water, exactly the same as you find inside your cells. That salt water is then broken down into free-floating atoms using an electrochemical process, exactly the same as what happens inside our cells, and then the atoms are restructured into stabilized redox signaling molecules. And that is what we have in these three products. The redox breakthrough came after nearly 2 decades of research and millions of dollars of studies and safety studies. A team of scientists led by an atomic medical physicist called Dr. Gary Samuelson actually achieved the impossible. They stabilized redox signaling molecules outside of the body for the first time so that we could supplement with them. How did this happen? ASEA is built on a foundation of integrity. These two gentlemen, Vertus and Tyler Norton, are father and son. They are the ASEA founders. So ASEA founders bought a compelling new technology of redox signaling molecules from a struggling biotech company as a business investment. They always intended to finish the project and sell these molecules to a pharmaceutical company. Examining the technology more closely with a team of researchers led by the medical atomic physicist, Dr. Gary Samuelson, they discovered how to take the technology to a new level by stabilizing the redox molecules so we could supplement with them. The founders shared the original redox signaling product with a few friends and family. Family and friends shared the profound benefits they were experiencing. Soon, over 100 people in multiple countries were benefiting from the product. A multi-million-dollar offer was made by a pharmaceutical company. Accepting the offer would mean that everyone benefiting from the product would no longer have access to it. So the founders agreed that keeping their friends and family members on the product was more important than accepting the offer and immense profit. So they turned down a huge offer from a pharmaceutical company. And in 2009, what began as a simple business venture became a purpose-filled mission to improve lives around the world, and the ASEA company was formed. My ASEA story started many years ago with the damage that the treatment for this disease caused to my immune system. Previous to this, I had had many abnormal cells on my skin removed over a long period of time. And my doctor told me that after this treatment, they were going to get worse. And they did. These are scars from previous abnormal cells being removed. And you can see that I went on to have more out of my face and my nose. And while my nose was healing up, they actually cut even more out of my forehead, which you wouldn't think was possible. And it wasn't, because they had trouble stitching that last one together and broke the sutures a couple of times trying to get it together. So we couldn't do that anymore and went on to other treatments. This was a particular gel that was put all over my face, and it reacts where there are abnormal cells. So as you can see, there were plenty. I did this particular treatment several times with very similar results. And the last one was this one, which was a completely different ointment that does the same thing, that only reacts where there are abnormal cells. And you can see I did my chest and my whole face at that point as well. I was introduced to ASEA at this point by a friend of mine, and they called and told me that I needed to be using Renew 28 on my skin. So I listened, and will be forever grateful for that phone call because I haven't had any issues since. My life before ASEA. I had a huge systemic infection from a ruptured appendix at the age of 16 and had one of my ovaries and a fallopian tube removed at the time because they were rotten. I had many major operations on my bowel, bladder, and ovary between the ages of 16 and 25, and a complete hysterectomy at 25. At 39, I had abnormal cells in my breast that had spread to my lymph nodes. I had glandular issues, hormonal deficiencies, immune challenges, muscle and joint discomfort, sleep challenges, fatigue and autoimmune problems, high LDL cholesterol at a very young age, high sugar levels at a young age, abnormal liver enzymes for a very long time, chronic back discomfort, respiratory challenges, and thinning bones. ASEA really does just harness the power of your own body to keep you well. It is not a drug in any way, shape, or form, and it does not cure or heal anything. It simply helps your body to heal at a very foundational level because it helps the cell signaling in your body. I have had a significant improvement in many of these issues and have even reduced the need for several medications. And this is the exciting one. This was my bone density results. I've had thinning bones for a long time, and I've been taking this product since 2015. So my bone density continued to decrease by the end of 2015, and 2016 it was still decreasing. In 2017 it actually started to stabilize, and in 2018 it actually had improved. I had done nothing else other than take ASEA, and I truly believe that this is the longer term use of ASEA and helping my body deal with things at a cellular level. I had a 1.3% increase in my hip and a 1.8% increase in my spine. That is truly amazing. And when I was introduced to ASEA, I was highly inflamed. I had every single thing on this list. ASEA has funded millions of dollars of research, but the important one on this page is Bioagilytics Laboratories. Bioagilytics is a large company in America that certifies what is in products are actually in them. They certify that our products contain active redox molecules, and this company would not be able to do that if it didn't. Let's talk about what ASEA Redox is actually not. ASEA is not like any other product available at the moment. It is not a food, a vitamin, a mineral, an antioxidant, an exotic juice, an alkaline water, an energy drink, or a steroid, and it is absolutely not a medication. Let's look at the difference between these things and ASEA. A good analogy for me is building a house. What do you need when you build a house? You need the materials. You need brick, wood, tiles, paint, cement, steel, and lots of other things. But if that was all you had, and they were just sitting there like that, do you think the house would be built? Of course not. What's missing? The labor. You need the builders, the carpenters, the tilers, the bricklayers, all of the people who come along, the labor that use those materials to build the house. Our body is no different. We need materials, food and supplements, proteins, carbohydrates, fats, vitamins, minerals, antioxidants. We need all of these things. These things are the materials that our body uses to build cells. And the labor in this case is directed completely by redox signaling molecules. When the redox molecules go to repair or replace damaged cells, they look for the materials. So it's very important that you do have a healthy diet and give your body as much good nutrients as you possibly can. So people may be asking right now, okay, so why haven't I heard of them? Who has heard of antioxidants? Of course we all have, and a lot of us would be taking them today. You know why? They've been around since the 1920s. But they did not come into the public arena in the 1920s. It took many, many years before we started to hear about antioxidants. The very first signaling molecule was discovered in 1998. This is why we don't know about them yet. A Nobel Prize was given to these three gentlemen in 1998 for discovering a nitric oxide molecule as a signaling molecule in the cardiovascular system. And since then, the race has been on to find out more about these amazing signaling molecules. Redox biochemistry is one of the fastest growing areas of science in the world today. There are already over 18,000 studies on redox signaling molecules published in peer-reviewed and scientific and medical journals, and over 1,200 books have already been written on redox biochemistry. If you are going to research ASEA or redox signaling molecules, please don't go to Dr. Google. I will warn you that if you do go to Google, there are several websites that say ASEA is nothing but expensive salt water. I can tell you that is absolutely not the case, and the people behind those websites are people and companies who do not want ASEA on the market. You can do your own research though, but do it properly. Go to Google Scholar and type in redox signaling molecules and see what sort of evidence you can come up with. And the other place to go is pubmed.gov. This is the US National Library of Medicine, National Institutes of Health. It's where doctors, nurses, people studying this sort of thing go to find the research. And there is so much new research here on redox signaling molecules. The question is, does ASEA contain redox signaling molecules? This is really the only question. When you look at all this evidence, it really is the only question. Do you believe that ASEA contains redox signaling molecules? As I said, Bioagiletics laboratories actually certify that our products contain active redox molecules, and they could not do that if it didn't. So let's have a look at a few things from PubMed about redox signaling molecules. This one says redox is a modulator of pain. This one says redox is a modulator of autoimmune and inflammatory diseases. ROS, which is reactive oxygen species, generated are dreadful weapons. While being essential to kill ingested pathogens, they can also cause degenerative changes on tissue if production and release are not balanced by sufficient detoxification. In the last 15 years, evidence has been accumulating that ROS are also integral signaling molecules and are important for regulating autoimmunity and immune-mediated inflammatory diseases. It seems that an accurate redox balance is necessary to sustain an immune state that both prevents the development of overt autoimmunity, the bright side of ROS, and minimizes collateral tissue damage, the dark side of ROS. So what this is saying is they are starting to understand that redox molecules are extremely important to our body and they need to be balanced. Redox as a modulator of psychological disorders. Redox as a modulator in infertility. Oxidative stress caused by elevated reactive oxygen species, or ROS, is one of the predominant causes of both male and female infertility. On the other hand, the beneficial roles of ROS, such as intracellular signaling, have become evident. Redox as a modulator of gene expression. In conclusion, an ever-increasing wealth of data indicates that classical DNA-related pathways like gene regulation by transcription factors, DNA damage repair mechanisms, as well as by more recently acknowledged pathways modulated by epigenetic mechanisms, are affected by the redox state of the organism and subsequently modulate genome stability. We are going to talk about genes shortly. So what are the experts saying? This is Anne-Louise Gittleman. She's the First Lady of Nutrition in America, and she has written many books on nutrition. She says, ASEA, in my humble estimation, is the greatest advance in lifestyle medicine, which harnesses the power of your own body to keep you well. Which harnesses the power of your own body to keep you well. And that is exactly what ASEA does. Again, it isn't a medicine. It isn't a drug. It simply harnesses the power of your own body to keep you well. And this technology has the potential to spearhead the greatest advances in health we have ever seen. And this is Dr. Gary Samuelson, the atomic medical physicist who actually stabilize these molecules so that we can supplement with them. Redox and your genes. The new science of epigenetics today has been showing us that our genes are not fixed. Our hair color and our eye color may be fixed, but other genes are actually able to be influenced. Our genes tell our cells what to do. Science shows that lifestyle changes and biochemical cellular factors are capable of switching genes on and off. So we are capable of doing this. Dr. Rob Ward, who wrote this book, Healthy Cells, Healthy Life, Balancing Redox for Better Health, says, I know of no better resource than supplementing redox molecules if we want to impact our cells foundationally. So let's talk about signaling at a genetic level. Tourette Laboratories are a genetic laboratory in America. And in 2017, they did a double-blind placebo-controlled study on ASEA, which showed that it increased the signaling in 5 very important genetic pathways. And the signaling actually increased by 20 to 31%. This is not a small amount. And the areas it affected are the immune system, inflammatory response, cardiovascular health, digestive health, and hormone modulation. Who wouldn't want to be helped in all of these areas, especially as we are growing older? It's been proven to activate and enhance the immune system, reduce inflammation, activate vascular health maintenance and elasticity, reducing heart disease, increase enzyme production and improve gut health, and activate hormone pathways. So this is the results of the gene study. And as you can see, the pink line is the placebo. The placebo they used was the saline solution that ASEA is made from before it goes through its electrochemical process to be changed into redox molecules. And you can see there was no change to anybody taking the placebo. The blue line, however, were the people on ASEA, and over 8 weeks, they had a 20 to 31% increase in the signaling to the genes they tested. That is quite amazing. One of the genes they tested was EGR1. EGR1 actually influences 15 additional genetic pathways, things like serotonin receptors, obviously the feel-good hormone, circadian rhythm, which relates to sleep, human thyroid stimulating hormone, insulin signaling, so important, and brain-derived neurotropic factor, which has to do with growth and maintenance of brain cells, and many other things here, as you can see. But the really important one here is the NRF2 pathway. You may have heard of the NRF2 pathway. It has to do with antioxidant health. Oxidative stress is the #1 health risk factor today, and we had a look previously at what a cell looks like when it has oxidative stress. The NRF2 is critical for the production and activation of your body's own master antioxidants, glutathione and superoxide dismutase, and it can actually increase this by well over 500% if your body needs it. Your body is adaptogenic, and redox molecules are not going to do anything to your body unless it is something it needs. The do's and don'ts of taking ASEA. ASEA is not digested like a food. The molecules are so tiny they are absorbed through the soft tissue and into the system very quickly. So you can take ASEA 5 to 10 minutes before or after food. It doesn't have to be on an empty stomach. Do not mix it with anything. Drink it once it's poured. Drink it from a plastic or glass cup. Please don't use metal as it can denature the molecules. Do not drink from the bottle and keep the lid on at all times. It can be refrigerated or frozen. Just thaw before drinking. First thing in the morning and before bed is a good time to take ASEA, or just before dinner if it keeps you awake at night. Some people, when they take ASEA right at bedtime, they find it hard to sleep because it gives them energy, and others can take it right before bed and sleep like a baby. This is something you will have to find out for yourself when you take it. It can be taken at any time of the day or night. The important part here is that ASEA is not water. You need to keep well hydrated and drink extra water when you start taking ASEA. It's a really good idea to swish ASEA around your mouth for a few seconds before you swallow it, so the molecules can be absorbed into the soft tissue. There is a lot of soft tissue in the mouth area. What to expect? What you will notice and how soon you will notice it depends largely on how much ASEA you take and if you have a health challenge and how long you've had it. A generally healthy person may notice increased energy, better sleep and clearer thinking, and this can happen in the first few days or in the first 3 months. While someone who is unwell may feel tired as their body tells them to rest while it repairs. Some people actually have old injuries starting to hurt again. This is just part of the healing process. The longer you are on ASEA, the more you will notice changes happening in your body. A good rule is to expect the unexpected. Other ways to use ASEA, and these are definitely not recommended by the ASEA company. This just comes from anecdotal evidence over the last 10 years of people using ASEA. You can put it in a spray bottle and spray it on your face and into your eyes, but please spray it into the air first before you spray it into your eyes just to clear the nozzle, because it can develop salt on the outside once ASEA has been touching the air for a long time. You can use it in an eyeglass or you can put it in an eyedropper. Many people report great things with their eyes after they've been using ASEA there. Other ways to use ASEA. ASEA is microbial, antiviral, antifungal, antibacterial, and it is really great to be used as a deodorant for that reason. It's also great on wounds, on skin issues like this, and it's safe for babies. Managing expectations is very important. You need to set correct expectations before you start. Everybody is different with different levels of redox molecules and different health challenges. 1% of people will see a difference very quickly. Most people will notice a difference within 90 days, and some it can take a lot longer. Healing challenges. Healing challenges come in all shapes and sizes, and of course not everybody will have them. In fact, most people don't. But you can have flu-like symptoms, aches and pains, rashes, night sweats, a worsening of the health challenge you're dealing with, be very tired, frequent urination, diarrhea or constipation. This is simply your body reacting to the work the molecules are doing. It is the same as taking any other product that helps you detox your body. It's a good thing. If it's not too uncomfortable, stay on the same amount of ASEA. And if you feel it's necessary, then drop back to a smaller amount and increase it again slowly once your symptoms have gone. So let's have a look at Renew Advanced. These two products, Renew 28 and Intensive Redox Serum, actually contain redox signaling molecules for the skin. We also have a beautiful gentle refining cleanser and a wonderful ultra replenishing moisturizer. These products are all very, very nice. I can use them and I'm allergic to everything. Renew 28 is truly the most advanced anti-aging skin therapy ever brought to the market. It is the only one on the market that contains active redox molecules. It is simple, safe, proven, affordable, and effective. These are some clinical studies. They were done by Dermatest and Stevens and Associates, and you can see some of the results here. Quite amazing. 23% decrease in wrinkle depth, 23% increase in skin smoothness, 20% improvement in elasticity, visible reduction in redness and irritation, and the two important ones for me, 16% faster skin cell renewal and a 50% increase in the microcirculation or blood flow to the skin where it's applied. And that's why many people report benefits from applying Renew 28 3 times in 5 minutes to an area where they have discomfort. Thermography. Here's some thermal imaging that shows what we're talking about. This is inflammation on the knees, on somebody's lower back, on somebody's chest, and also the back of someone's hand. After applying Renew 28 3 times in 5 minutes, after about 10 minutes, they have redone the thermal imaging and you can see how much that inflammation has been reduced. Dermatest also did a 12-week clinical study of Renew 28 on cellulite, and you can see for yourself the difference here. And basically, it increased skin elasticity by nearly 21%, and improvement in the appearance of cellulite was close to 16%. And you can see Renew 28 after 28 days. It is quite an amazing product. It also helps things like this. Wonderful on elderly people's skin, wonderful on veins, great for this type of issue. And you can see the power of longer term use of Renew 28. This is after 5 months. Other ways to use Renew 28, again, definitely not recommended by the ASEA company, but built up with anecdotal evidence since this product has been on the market. It is wonderful for burns. It's great for any sort of tummy upset. Great to be rubbed on the gums for a toothache. Wonderful for these sorts of things. Also, any type of bite, any type of sprain, even used on the face for hay fever, rubbed on the temples, the forehead, or the back of the neck to help with headaches. And definitely a lot of people get help with their sinuses if they rub the Renew 28 where the sinuses are. And again, it can be used as a deodorant. A lot of people use it as a toothpaste, and it is very safe for babies, wonderful for things like nappy rash, etc. And of course, don't forget the reflexology points. If you apply Renew 28 to any of these areas, it does help get to that very point. And of course, seeing is believing with Renew 28, and so is feeling. You can feel the difference with Renew 28 and see the difference after 28 days. ASEA Redox supplement and Renew 28 have a significant impact for athletes as well. They have increased endurance and strength, they recover quicker, they repair faster, they have increased mental stamina, they have increased ventilatory threshold and also increased VO2 max. And Sam Thaiday has recently come out and said that he has been using ASEA and Renew 28 for the last couple of years, and it really has helped him with his recovery, repair, and endurance. These are some of our ASEA athletes. The young man in the top corner is Cody Miller. He is an Olympic breaststroke gold medalist, and he has actually taken ASEA during the Olympics. It cannot be picked up because it is not a drug. It is simply putting something back in that your body already has and may not have enough of. And of course, the gentleman down the bottom is one of the world's strongest men. His name is Eddie Hall. He is also an ASEA athlete. We talked about the materials and the labor. It's very important to have both of these things to have a healthy body and help your cells repair. ASEA recently released a new nutritional range called ASEA Via. It is not for retail, which means you can't buy it in Australia, but when you have an ASEA account, you can order it from America. The products at the moment are ASEA Via Source, Whole Food and Micronutrient Complex, which is wonderful with 26 superfoods and absolute cutting-edge absorption technologies. We have Biome, which is a gut health supplement containing probiotics, and also Life Max, which is an anti-aging and vitality formula. ASEA is the only company in the world to offer your cells the materials and the labor to get the work done. These nutritional supplements have been formulated to work beautifully with ASEA Redox. We do live and die at the cellular level, and when our cells are healthy, we are healthy. ASEA will help you create an optimal preventative environment in your body, help your body at its most foundational level, which of course is your cells and your genes, help your body fight any battles that may already be raging somewhere that you don't even know about. It will help you feel better, sleep better, look better, add years to your life and life to your years. And this is the wonderful Vertus Norton, the ASEA founder. He says, "We are all at the start of something big with great purpose, and right now is the moment that we can begin influencing the future. We can change the world, and we are changing the world with ASEA, one cell at a time. So here's where you can find extra information. On ASEA products and the science, go to aseaglobal.com. And if you want to research redox molecules, go to pubmed.gov or Google Scholar. For more information, please get back to the person who shared this presentation with you. I hope you found it interesting, and thanks for listening.